Hey YouTube, Spider004 here, and I've been dealing a lot with engines recently, mainly in airplanes, but I wanted to put an engine into a vehicle, just because I haven't really ever done it before. There was a vehicle a long time ago that had an engine, but the engine was made by XXX Mags, and I know I've done ACF powered stuff, but let's face it, an ACF engine isn't a real engine, it's more of a system designed to balance combat based on weight. So we have a V10 powering this, and it has single firing points. What I mean by that is there's 360 degrees in a circle. There's 10 pistons here. One piston fires every 36 degrees. I found a really good way to time V8s, V10s, V12s like this so that they're balanced and they don't have side wobble on the crankshaft. And the firing order on this particular V10 goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you look at it, it just looks balanced. Now for the suspension, I don't do welds in my suspension anymore. My previous version of a torsion bar and leaf spring had welds, but I'm trying to pioneer something I like to call a point weld. This just has an axis going from the base plate to the end here, so it can spin freely. And what a point weld is, I don't know if anyone else has done this, but I'm trying to use it in a large amount because I see a better advantage to it. Well, first off, what a weld does is it goes from mass center to mass center. So a weld would go from here to here. What I do for a point weld is I do two axes. So I right click and then I right click there, and I right click and I right click there. And it makes a weld just right here, right in this area, right where you made the constraints. Because axes don't ignore where you place them. And what this means is that the only thing holding this wheel up is the torsion of this axis right here. You can see it. It'll spin and it'll bend. It's the closest thing I've been able to get to a torsion bar. For my leaf springs, I do an axis from the base plate to here on the end, and then I do a point weld like this. Because if you've ever seen a leaf spring, it doesn't really have that much give in the middle. It has a roller bar on the end, and that's what I was trying to emulate. Now if I actually grab it, you can see it flexes just like a leaf spring. Looks nice and happy. For the axle, I know I had in my previous version that I was using prop suspension, it actually spun, but I've changed that. Now it just has an advanced ball socket that goes from the base plate to here, and it stops all rotation except for that kind of rotation, the suspension rotation. And if you're curious, my base plate is right there, and it runs all the way to the back. Inside we have a wonderfully lavish cab, and it just sits there idling unless I actually put it into unless I engage one of the sets of wheels. This is an automatic, so I don't actually have gears. All I do is I hit R to engage the back wheels, and then I can hit R again to engage the front wheels. Now, how I'm actually bringing power from the engine to the wheels is an E2 transmission made by XXX Mags. It works better than anything I've ever seen. It has just wonderful engine braking too. Like I can't exactly demonstrate it because it's an automatic, but if I went from 5th to 3rd, I would slow down very, very fast. This doesn't actually have brakes, it just has a weld latch from the wheels to the base plate, but I'm working on brakes. Maybe see those in the future. You can see it sounds really nice. The sound is just based off the engine RPM. There's no funny business going on like basing it off speed or anything. You can see it's pretty solid while it drives. I could have had this go a lot faster, but it's a truck. I wanted it to feel like a truck where it's got like, you know, slide and stuff. I'll also demonstrate a throttle down. Just let go of the throttle. Listen to the gear downs. Doesn't that sound nice? The reason this is an automatic is because I had lots of people test drive it to see what they thought. And people aren't used to changing gears, I don't think, that much in Gmod, so they were like revving the nuts off of it everywhere they went, so I changed it to automatic. You can see the engine RPM is happy, like 700. Sometimes it hits 1,000, but usually when it over revs. What video wouldn't be complete without going up this hill? What car video, anyway? How the throttle works on this is each gear that gets added, it adds throttle. So like first gear is 150 throttle, and second gear is 300 throttle, and third gear is 450, fourth gear 600, fifth gear is 750. But it doesn't actually have enough throttle in first gear to make it up this hill. So what I did was, if you hold shift, you get an extra 250 throttle. Just it kind of makes for epic moments when you're in two-wheel drive and you hold shift. Now, this truck actually has like terrible ground clearance, like super terrible ground clearance. It's just horrible. But I've noticed that this hill doesn't actually really need that much ground clearance to do it successfully. But there's some other things it can't do. I need to make another vehicle to actually do some of the more advanced off-roading things. But you won't see those probably for a while, because I'm going to be moving on to ships and ship combat. And that'll be like my next few videos, unless I do a few tutorials. I know a lot of people have been asking about tutorials, but I've been tied up with this. And oh, this is the hard part. You can see the suspension just working away there. Like, I like that it's so stiff that the wheel actually picks up off the ground. It just doesn't go over everything. And that's my torsion bars hitting. There we go. I really didn't demonstrate the two-wheel drive that much, but oh well, you can see it slides happily. Anyway, yeah, so that's my attempt at a car. I think it did pretty good. On a note, solid prop suspension, I know a lot of people don't do it, but here's a real good reason to do it. Wait for it. Look at that. Look at that amount of deflection. Doesn't that look awesome? Like, I'm just picking the wheel up until the other wheel isn't touching anymore. Isn't that great? You can actually see it working. I like it. And I hope you like this video too. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Have a good one.